Hey guys, what you doing? It's TheKillerDoll here, and let me tell you something. This last week has been an absolute hell week for me. First of all, it was finals week last week, which is one whole mess because of my grades. I somehow managed to fucking finesse a C out of one of my history teachers though, so I mean, good for me. On Saturday, I got back home after getting shit-faced last night because it was my friend's birthday, only to find out people are just mass disliking my videos out of fucking nowhere. Seriously, I don't get why people do that. Y'all are petty as fuck. And I'm stuck in Colorado for this whole week, which is partially my fault because I wanted to stay out here, but wow, your girl really wants to fucking go home. But despite all this negativity and bullshit, there was a light at the end of this deep, dark tunnel, and it's that this past Thursday night, my roommate left and will not be back because she dropped out. Papa bless. Now, a lot of you guys are probably like, Justine, doll, what the fuck? What was so bad about your roommate? Why didn't you like her? What the fuck's going on? Because I never really talked about the issues I had with my roommate on my YouTube channel's Twitter, which, by the way, you should really follow because, that's the only place where I constantly post updates and ask about shit, so, please do that. And I mostly talked about it on my personal Twitter account, so let me fill you guys in on the bullshit I've been dealing with since August. Starting on move-in day. So in August, I moved to my school's dorms, and I was super pumped. I really never got in touch with my roommate because I got all that information in last minute, but I looked her up on Facebook, and she seemed super chill, so I thought we'd be a pretty good match. Well, fast forward to me and my mom getting to the school. We went through every procedure to check in right. Basically, you had to get your ID, and then you could go to the dorms, and then you get a list of stuff to ensure that it was either already damaged in your room so you wouldn't get fined, and then I was able to start moving all of my stuff in. So both of the mattresses were up, meaning that no one else had been in the room, therefore I had first dibs at what side I wanted. So I took the side with the window right in front of my bed because I don't know why, I just like that. It's not even that good of a view, but it's something. So because I didn't know if my roommate would be coming in anytime soon, I flipped the mattress on my side and put my purse and water bottle on it to kind of signal that I basically took the side and you snooze, you lose, bitch. So since me and my mom filled out the form, I could now move all of my stuff in. So I started to do that, and as soon as I got back to my room, my roommate, who we're just gonna call B because, she was a fucking bratty bitch, was putting her stuff up on my side. And to make matters even worse, it's obvious she saw that I took that side because she moved my purse and water bottle off the bed to the other bed. Yeah, real fucking dick move. And I called her out on it right then and there and was like, hey, that's my side. And I put all my stuff on that side, and I had the guys that were helping me carry it in do the same thing. So after that hassle and while moving everything in, my mom started to notice that B's mom was just really out of it. Like, she was staring down my mom while my mom was making my bed for the last time. So my mom, obviously being my mom, just flat out said, hey, you enjoying the show? And B's mom was just all fucking frazzled. She was like, wait, what? What's going on? What is it? And all of that shit. At that point, my mom was just really weirded out by B's mom, B, and B's 4 other siblings that came with. Mind you, B is the middle child out of fucking 8 kids. So after that, B and her parents left, and they just were gone for the whole day. B literally just made it back in time for our floor meeting, and that's when she told me the somewhat obvious but still kind of weird. B's parents and all of her siblings, before driving out to the school, all decided to smoke pot, and she was gone the whole fucking day because she decided to go smoke with her parents and siblings at the reservoir in the town. Her parents let middle school aged kids smoke fucking weed. What? Now, as someone who smokes pot herself, I get smoking weed. I understand the health benefits and how it's anti-big pharma and all that bullshit, but letting your fucking kids who can't be older than middle school age smoke is a little bit ridiculous. Like, I get it, they're gonna smoke anyways, but do it behind your parents' back. You're in middle school, you gotta go through that whole rebellious process and not just have your fucking hippie parents be like, here's a blunt, kid, smoke up, 420 blaze it. Anyways, that isn't even the only odd thing, but we'll get to that in a few fucking moments. So after that floor meeting, me and B decided to actually just talk, and she brought up relationships and all that, so I let her know about my shitty ex and the whole situation involving that. So she started to tell me about how she's dating a military guy. The dude sounds like a fucking male version of her, all hippie and just fucking weird, but then she broke into talking about how she tried breaking up with him and it didn't happen. So because it didn't happen, she decided to cheat on him with a guy from Arizona while she was on her 1-month expedition in the fucking wilderness. Yeah, she literally was in the woods with a group of people for a month, climbing, camping, being hippies, and decided to cheat on her boyfriend during this time, and she is still actually in touch with the guy from Arizona. Yeah, after telling me how much she hated cheaters because of my story, just to tell me that, I was kind of fucking disgusted. By the way, the kid from Arizona moved down to Trinidad, which is just a bit south of where my school is, and she went to visit him frequently, and she would usually Skype her boyfriend before and was like still with him. Yeah, she's just one whole fucking mess. Anyways, a few days later, we were just chilling and she asked me if I wanted to go out and smoke, which, me being me and not having smoked for a few weeks at that point, I was pretty down. So we drove around to our college town's little river walk, smoked, and just walked around and talked the entire time. That's when she told me some pretty disturbing shit, and even though I don't know if it was true or not, I really wasn't ready to piss her off and find out. So obviously we were high, and I brought up high school and stuff like that, and for some reason I think I brought up dissecting animals in biology because that's like the most memorable thing I have from high school in a class. So she then proceeds to tell me that she, straight up, dissects animals that she finds on the road for fucking fun and has taken those dead animals home with her just to dissect. But, you know, it's okay because she's a physical ed major and she should be interested in the human bodies and the muscles and slicing fucking dead animals open.
Out of this house! Out of this house!
I was so stoned and so fucking scared at that point. I just wanted to run, but I couldn't because I needed to ride back to the campus. So I just got super quiet, and wow, to this day, that shit still freaks me the fuck out. Like, because of that, I would constantly be nervous to piss her off because I'd always wonder, like, how fucking psychotic is this bitch, and would she cut me open if I pissed her off? Anyways, that shit freaked me the fuck out, so we stayed pretty neutral throughout most of the school year, but towards the middle and the end of the semester, shit hit the fan very, very fast. You guys know how I wasn't really able to upload a lot this school year? Well, you could thank her for that. My roommate was super shitty about common courtesy and very hypocritical when it came to stuff. Throughout the first few weeks, she would have people over in our room until 2 a.m. or later, but when I started bringing friends over at decent hours, like 6 p.m. or earlier, she would throw a fit once they left and they wouldn't even be there that long. Like, the latest I had someone over in our room was till 12 a.m. and it was on a Saturday. Meanwhile, she let people stay until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. on school nights. Yeah, I don't get it either. B also lost a lot of her friends throughout the school year because a lot of people were just using her for weed, so she started staying in 24/7 and she would never use headphones or turn down her music or TV shows even if I was studying, asked her to, or was trying to sleep. It would literally be 3 a.m. on a school night and she would be watching Grey's Anatomy full fucking volume. And I would ask her to turn it down and she wouldn't. It was great. In general, she would just have everything in a high volume until like 3 a.m. all the time, which was just really fucking rude in my opinion, and she would never turn it down or put in headphones, as I mentioned. But there was one time I was playing either The Witcher or Overwatch, something like that, at like 6 p.m. and she just got back from smoking and she flat out told me I needed to turn off my PlayStation because it was going to distract her, not from her homework, not from studying, but from fucking sleeping. This bitch had 8 siblings. How did they all fucking not kill her? I also went out of town for the weekend to volunteer for an event in Denver, which was like a sorority sponsored event, and I came back to find that all my water and Capri Sun was gone and my leftover B-dubs and my mozzarella sticks were just fucking gone too. Are you guys starting to see why I'm glad she's gone? Because I think I had some pretty fucking valid reasons. However, this last reason is basically the biggest one and the reason why I still fucking hate my roommate, even though she's gone. So as it got colder out, my room started smelling more and more like weed, and I kept trying to convince myself that she wasn't smoking in the room and that it was probably just her dirty pile of laundry that had been sitting there for like a month. Yeah, she didn't do her laundry, like ever. She'd wear the same shit. It was pretty fucking disgusting. But I was wrong. One day while I was in the room, she just walked over to the window on my side and just started smoking. So I was pretty pissed and asked her not to smoke in the room. Mostly because if she gets caught, we can both get expelled or just in trouble in general because it's a federally funded school, weed is federally illegal, you get the point, right? Needless to say, she didn't stop, and as the semester came to a close, she started doing some really shady shit besides that. Before, she used to smoke regardless of whether or not I was in the room, and then she started smoking whenever I was gone, or she would actually ask me if I was okay with it, and every time I said no, she'd do it anyway, so kind of defeated the purpose be. I noticed one of my old pill bottles that was empty was no longer on my dresser and just completely gone. Like I couldn't find it by my desk and it wasn't under my dresser. And then she started being overly nice to me, which made me question if she overheard me complaining to my friends one day, but it could have been for a number of reasons, honestly. So time went on and Thursday rolled around and she was leaving. She was done with her finals and just done with college in general and was dropping out, so she had to get our room completely inspected before she could leave. Now it was mostly her side that got inspected, but they had to check the windows because we both marked that there was previous damage, so she had to get it checked out and all that since she was leaving then. And that's when the RA noticed something on the window. There was a plastic bag with a damp paper towel inside and something dark in it too. And of course the RA asked about it. They're supposed to ask about that shit. And what my roommate said next made me realize something was definitely up. She just looked at the RA and said, "I don't know what it is. The window's on her side, so it's hers since she never lets me adjust the windows and stuff." Yeah, I figured out real quick that something was fucking up. First of all, to add to the shady stuff that she did before, I noticed that my paper towels were used, my new roll, and I didn't touch it and the girls next door didn't, so she probably didn't. I figured it was to clean up something, but I guess it was for whatever's in this bag. And secondly, I never restricted her to adjusting the curtains and opening the window and all that. She did it without asking me, and I never really minded it, so it was complete bullshit. And I was ready to say shit, but they left really quickly after that since the window was the last thing she was checking. So my roommate left and I started to get really curious because I genuinely didn't know what was in the bag. So I sent my friend Malia a stupid Snapchat being like, "Huh, what the fuck is this, lol?" And then I just tossed it in the garbage can in our bathroom because I didn't know what it was. A nap later and a few minutes after waking up, I saw that my friend Malia replied, and what she said had me freaking the fuck out. What she basically told me is that's how non-traditional kind of cannabis stuff like dabs and all of that good shit, I just smoked the plant version, but like all of that stuff is kind of illegally dispersed and kept, and that I needed to figure out what was in it because I could definitely get into hella trouble, obviously since it has THC in it. So I rushed to the bathroom, dug through that entire trash can so I could see what the fuck was in there. I opened the bag and it just fucking reeked of pot. Like it genuinely was so pungent right away, I knew that shit was up. So I opened the damp paper towel in it and it definitely wasn't like plant weed or oil and all that shit, but it was just 2 small black balls. So I picked one up, smelt it, again, smelled like weed, rolled it through my hands, and I noticed it left kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it kind of looks like when you use charcoal for artwork. That's how it kind of looked on my hand. So I sent a video to my friend who had no idea what it was either, so I decided to do some research, and sure enough, it was hashish, which is basically a cannabis resin and is stronger since it's just fucking resin and mostly THC. So let's put 2 and 2 together, kids. My roommate smoked the night before. I know this because from the parking lot I can see into our room and I saw her standing right by the window. She had plenty of time between all the time I was gone and my finals and all that in general to put it up on the window. She told the RA it must have been mine since I don't let her touch the window. You know, it kind of sounds like she was trying to frame me for having marijuana there illegally. Needless to fucking say, after I found this out, I was livid. I was 5 seconds away from messaging her or going to an RA to report it. Sadly, I can't go to an RA to report it because that's just really bad timing to be like, "Hey, my roommate who just left today left this, lol," because it looks like I'm trying to get her in trouble for something I did, even though I'm literally telling the truth. So yeah, my roommate was a psycho stoner who more than likely tried to frame me for having weed on campus, and I am very tempted to still send her a fucking message on Facebook calling her a fucking cunt. Because let's face it, after all this, she was a major cunt. But anyways, guys, that's my story about my incredibly psycho stoner roommate, and if you take away anything from this story, it's not to room with some stoner hippie fuck from Carbondale with 7 other siblings. And if you are stuck with one, just get the fuck out. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. I actually really miss doing storytime videos on my channel, so if you want more, please let me know. I have a ton of shit to say from like this whole fucking school year. I promise I won't go all Tana Mongoose on this channel and make it all storytimes, I pink, I swear. But yeah, until the next video, you guys, I will see you guys later. Bye!
Out of this house! Out of this house!